All right, guys, this is week 6, module 2, Gandhi's Salt March and Cause and Effect. So our objective for today for the lesson is that you will be able to determine if Gandhi's Salt March was successful against British colonial rule in India. And then the language objective is to use language of cause and effect to analyze in writing the impact of Gandhi's Salt March. You will be answering this question at the end of the day, or at the end of this module. So be considering, was Gandhi's Salt March successful? And why or why not? Today you do have a do now question that needs to be answered in the Google Classroom. You do need to make sure that your document is finished and turned in, and then you've taken the mastery check and submitted it in Edulastic. Today our vocabulary word is salt march. Salt march is an act of nonviolent civil disobedience in colonial India that led by Mahatma Gandhi to protest the British rule of India. Gandhi saw the protest against British taxation of salt as a way to fight for Indian independence, so he began his salt march as an act of opposition to colonial rule. Excuse me. So first look at this image below, and then you're going to take that answer and pop it over into the Google Classroom for today's module. Sorry. As you're looking at the picture, ask yourself these questions. Who are the groups in the photo? And what might have caused the violence? And who's in the wrong, the British or the Indians? So this is from Ozzie Smith in Colonial Rule, National Geographic magazine in New Delhi, India, which is the capital of India, in 1954. So, what do you think leaders around the world might have thought about the British after seeing this photo and hearing of this massacre? What would they have thought the world over about this image? So after seeing this photo and hearing about the massacre, leaders from around the world likely thought blank. I mean, we continue to see a lot of British soldiers helping to transition the country out of rule, attacking Indians who we know gained their independence through non-violent methods, peaceful protest. So what would people have thought seeing this image? Once you've got your answer, you're going to copy and paste that over into the Google Classroom. I will label it Week 6, Module 2, Do Now question, and then we'll have that question there. Once you've done that, you're going to move on to the language activity. So it might be a good idea to pause this video while you put your answer into the Google Classroom. All right, so now we're going to review cause and effect by looking at the following examples, and then you're going to practice yourself. So cause, what is cause and what is effect? So cause is something happens, and the effect is something that happens as a result of a cause. So this is like almost a trigger, and this is what happens after the trigger. So an example here, it's like a really silly one. The cause is that Joey dropped his ice cream. And then an effect of that is Joey feels sad. And you might write that because Joey dropped his ice cream, he was sad. When we talk about effects, we use language like as a result of, the effect of blank was blank, the impact of blank was blank, and consequently, so like a consequence of. So an example here, last night we received 7 inches of rain. As a result, so I'm using the language from the text box here, the underpass by River Point Shopping Center was flooded. So the cause was 7 inches of rain. The effect was the flooding of the underpass. Example 2. The moon has gravitational pull. Consequently, I'm using this as a consequence, the oceans have tides. So the cause is the gravitational pull of the moon. The effect are the tides. And then the last example The impact of Maria not following the recipe correctly was the cake did not come out as expected. Instead, it was dry and flat. The cause was Maria failed to follow the recipe, and the effect was the cake turned out dry and flat, not moist and fluffy as expected. So now it's your turn. You're going to be using one of these or something like that. My example up here at the top, because Joey dropped his ice cream, he was sad. As a result of dropping his ice cream, Joey was sad. The effect of dropping his ice cream caused Joey to be sad, that sort of thing. So for each cause, the reason something happened, you're writing a possible effect, the thing that came after, using complete sentences and one of the sentence frames above, or something that works effectively. So this cause is, you stay up all night playing Fortnite and don't get any sleep. So I want you to think about what happens if you stay up all night and don't get any sleep. So I'm going to write, because I stayed up all night playing Fortnite, and didn't get any sleep, I was cranky and mean. Cranky and yelled at my little sister. Which then could be a cause, would be an effect, like, because I yelled at my sister, then my mom grounded me, on and on and on. Cause number 2, you participate in class and always complete your work. So what is the result of you participating and completing your work? So I'm going to choose a different one of these. I might use like as a result of. As a result of participating in class and completing my work, what usually happens when you participate in class and complete all your work? You're putting that answer there. And today we're going to be reading about and writing about Gandhi's Salt March. You're using this language to write about the effects of what happened. So as a consequence of Gandhi's Salt March, X happened. Once you finish filling these out, double check that you've put your do now in the Google Classroom, and then find the video for our background information.